Hi, YouTube. Me, Kareem Zamir, Seekers of Galanti, Second Wake. Episode 16, Year 2. Don't tell Twitter. Well, what about don't tell YouTube that it's actually 68. But, you know, it just sounds easier for the algorithm. We have been getting more views on the episodes, but when you're getting 1 to 7 views an episode, I really don't feel like it's right to be like, more views. So overall, we assume, or rather I assume, because I just love looking at all the metadata that comes through, it's really no different. So YouTube Reels, who has given me the advice to split it up into the years of a game, so that people will get invested in the newer content rather than the older content, or look at it as a big book of things they have to rewatch the whole thing of. You lied to me, Reels. You lied to me. You and your TikTok friends need to get out of here. All right, cool. Glad that I've gotten my threats against TikTok and YouTube. Susan Wojcicki, I think, is the one who runs it. Susan! Alright, anyway. So yeah. I think that's a good place to start, right? Just shake
Careful not to get clocked there.
What happened?
I said careful not to get clocked there.
Oh, that's true. Can't get got. Alright, so when we last left our intrepid heroes, that's always how you know D&D has started, right? I feel like I should say that, and then the viewer count should go up, right? When we last left our intrepid heroes, they had arrived. They'd been in town for a day or so within the beautiful sights to see of Grim Village Resort and Casino. They had, of course, visited around town, asked questions about the lands they once knew and previously had explored when they first came through here, when they were but wee little adventurers of no more than second and third levels. Oh, what a time it were. That's just me having too many voices in my head, guys. That's why you gotta silence them with alcohol. Alright, great. After coming through, many things having changed and reaching out to a number of the folks, such as Sam, the previous owner of the Fields Harvest Inn, as well as others among town who they remembered and recognized, the group came to find that TT Holdings LLC, for the most part, came in when the market was right and bought out land at a time when people needed to sell. Just seems to have been a culmination of a perfect storm of events. Feeling that there was more to the story, though, the group kind of put some pressure into the job listing they had acquired from the Lady Galanti upon setting out in this northern excursion, and actually got a little distracted playing slot machines. All of which the hype and excitement of quickly drained from their faces. They realized that slot machines are kind of BS. Slot machines don't let you win a lot. And every time you do win, it's never enough to cover your losses. So, welcome to slot machines, home of the slot machines. I definitely didn't spend a lot of time figuring out what rates and percentage chances were and then try to find a dice equivalent to that. That'd be crazy and something somebody with insomnia would do. Anyway, when I wasn't sleeping last time, we developed George Creedy. The group came to view the rather flamboyant head of the house, as so to speak, of an orcish man from the east, who was ever so kind to be able to speak to a number of our fair friends and individuals among the Seekers of Galanti, speaking and arranging a meeting between both their group as well as the one and only Mr. Tontuan. In doing so, setting up a series of events leading us to this evening. Collecting Kobold Jones from the beautiful botanical gardens, because weapons are his religion. And while they're not permitted in the casino, they are allowed out on the deck. And then, I suppose if you're going to a private meeting, no one's really going to twist your arm that you're going fully armed in a private meeting with maybe the most important person in town. You know, when I say it out loud, it does sound a lot more dangerous for this individual, but who knows? Will they become raving murderers? We'll find out tonight.
No, I was just gonna protect him. If anything, it's the safest thing possible for him.
Oh, protect his neck?
Yeah, because I mean, if something's attacking us, then I'm gonna have to defend us.
Of course. So yes, that is where we come into this situation. The Seekers of Galanti, you all sit out on the patio. A variety of drinks, foods, and pleasantries are all provided to you to imbibe, consume, and treat yourselves to something truly nice. But you do know that as well, the door leading back to the casino has been set to arrive within the office of Mr. Tontuan upon your discretion whenever you so choose. With that, Sigis Galanti, if there's anything you want to discuss before heading back into the casino proper, into your meeting with the big man in charge, now is the time to do so. I pass it over to you.
So we discussed a little bit, but does anyone have any talking points with this fellow that we're going to go talk to? We all should keep in mind.
I think I might keep my mouth a little bit shut, just for reasons. Unless, certain things are brought up. But I think we're just trying to see mostly what kind of plans this fella has, right? And see what kind of job in particular, if I remember right.
Yeah, we don't know the particulars of this defensive contract, I suppose I'd call it. I'm kind of curious. We can maybe propose to him, since we're not interested in months-long work, if there's any individual issues that could be handled in shorter time for people of our expertise and ability.
I think that's a good idea, actually.
Yeah, I quite like that.
That sounds good to me.
Morgan, Celeste, good?
I'm gonna be honest. I completely zoned out. I was on that machine over there, and I did some gambling, and I'm not sure. I have very mixed feelings because I won and then I lost, but I still won.
Oh, sweetheart. Bless your heart. You have never gambled before, have you?
No, it's a lot.
It's a lot of losing. Gonna be real honest.
But I won.
Losing.
No, there was.
No. They get you with those wins. Make you feel real good, right? They make you feel like the coolest, hottest thing.
You know that feeling when you're floating for a second right before you hit the floor, when you trip? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like that.
Yeah, it happened all the time back in Deerwood, to be honest.
You tripped a lot?
No, I gambled a lot. It's a normal occurrence. Don't feel too bad.
So you're an expert.
I'm an expert.
At losing or winning?
To be honest, probably at losing and owing folks money. It's all good now. We're good now. It's fine.
Just gonna... Okay.
Yeah, I mean, your debtors are probably not even there anymore, so...
That's a very grim way to say that.
You know what? Thinking about it, you might just be right.
Celeste's gonna slowly push her coin purse to the other side of her hip away from JJ. Morgan, watch that one, okay? Just...
No, it's okay, sweet. I already gambled enough. I lost enough today.
Oh, you lost. Okay, well, that was my next question.
I won 4 times, but I lost, mostly.
I feel like they say you never really win, you just do a little bit better each time.
So you won then, buddy?
I don't kiss and tell.
I didn't ask who you kissed. I asked if you won.
It's a term meaning that you don't brag while disparaging other people. You don't rub it in people's faces.
Well, I won. You're not
Well,
rubbing
good for
anything.
you. No,
I
that's
won.
great.
Did you win?
There are a number of people here who didn't win. So...
Oh.
Myself included.
Orville... I have never beheld as much money as Orville threw away into a machine before. As Bartholomew speaks this, kind of like reaches down, and pulls out this leather cord that they've fashioned and a single platinum piece in the center of it, like a necklace. Because my lucky coin and I, that I recently acquired, thank you for pointing it out to me, Miss Morgan, did quite fashionably at the slot machines, in no small part thanks to Charles for being the most lucky rodent. And, like, moves down and fist bumps Charles. Apparently
Congratulations, buddy.
Thank you. Yes, it's apparently a southern thing that rodents bring good luck, and I had not believed it until this afternoon. So, very good.
So we should get more rats.
No, absolutely not. That's not what I said. Not at all.
I think each of us should have a dire rat.
I think it in that same lore that I had heard about lucky rats, I think it's that one rat provides luck outwardly, and that multiple rats will siphon the luck away from them and make them unlucky. I think that's how that works.
That makes sense.
It'll
But
even out.
I think Chunkini would like lots of rats, though.
I don't.
Oh.
Maybe, but not for the way that you think, Miss Morgan, if I would be so frank.
Oh, I think I'm well aware how he would like them.
Oh, like,
But I'm not saying no.
yeah, that's fair. Bartholomew looks to his companion. You see Charles going like,
I don't like it. I don't like it at all.
oh then.
Well,
So, how much?
congratulations, Bartholomew and Celeste, on your good.
Oh, thanks. I didn't really.
adventures.
I won, but at the same time, I only made out even. It's not like I won money. I just.
Oh, you made out even.
That's
Yeah.
even
better than I did.
Yeah, that's a win,
Great.
right?
That's a great win. Yeah.
To be
Oh,
honest,
okay.
yeah, that's a win. I am still down about 75 copper. No,
Oh,
sorry,
that's a lot.
65 copper.
They say don't count your coppers before you spend them, right? That's good.
Who says that? Shouldn't you know how much you have before you spend it?
It's a
It's a term.
Oh my
elf
god.
thing. Sure, we'll go with that.
Elves. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
You know
Right.
all about that side of culture, sure.
No, yeah. Of course I do. I'm very cultured. Yeah.
Of course. I mean, you're an affluent young woman, I'm sure.
You know, now that you bring that up, I was can I ask you something? Because you know quite a lot, buddy.
I'm a traveled man, yes.
The Holy Elven people, where are they located?
That would be within the holy city of elves. Why
Yeah.
is that a
Where? I was just no, I was just wondering. What's that city called?
Elderwin? Why is it
Okay, yeah.
why is that relevant at this point?
The machine asked me the question. I didn't know the answer. I got it wrong. It was the only I could have won a lot of money, and I got it wrong.
You were there when we talked about it in jail in
Vel-
Nymeria.
Vel's mother went there. There was a point of discussion.
My father's the voice of Elderwin.
It's very important. Celeste, did you not want to bring this up because it would embarrass you that you didn't pay attention to your friends?
I'm not embarrassed. I am not. Why would I be embarrassed that I don't know where important holy elves are? Why would I?
I don't know. I'm
Be
a little embarrassed
embarrassed.
for you. That's why I'm asking.
That's alright, Celeste. I don't know where they're at either.
No, that's fair. That tracks.
Actually, I don't even know the other city. I forgot its name.
Nymeria?
No, I think it's Aurelia.
That's the country. That's you know what? We're getting off track here. Not to worry. I don't have anything pertinent to say to this Mr. Person. Should Charles and I just stay out here where the food is flowing? Do you think you'll need diplomatic services? And I mean, probably, but I just don't know.
Fine.
Sometimes. Will
I
you
feel
require
like-
counsel?
I feel like you answered your own question already twice.
I feel like I have, but I also get a knot in my stomach anytime you go into diplomatic situations because I see this itch that Mr. Jones has towards his axes. It's very faint.
Look, I haven't killed anyone that didn't deserve it in at least like a little while.
That's like a little while.
I'm
Then-
proud of you.
I'm gonna test something here. Diplomacy. And Bartholomew will look you up and down. Oh, there it is. There it is. There's the twitch.
No, it's just fleas. It's fleas. Don't even worry about it. It has to be
How
fleas.
can you have
It's
fleas?
No, it's
Hail
fine.
fleas? I've never heard of such a thing.
It'd be
Like-
ticks, right?
Yep. Ticks. That sounds right.
It's the dwarven dire fleas.
Oh my, dire.
That sounds
flea.
horrendous.
I just kind of stare at Charles.
Charles feet twitches a little bit and heavily scratches behind one ear, and then slowly gets that feeling like someone's looking at him and stares eerily, almost like hotel at you, and just tilts out and twists.
Can I help you?
Do you have dire fleas?
Not anymore.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah.
Stay away from Jones. We think he has them.
Oh, yeah, we should put him down.
We don't want to give you a flea bath, right?
Oh, not me. Mhm.
I just don't want to take a bath in general.
That might be why he has those.
I think that's, yeah. We just gotta rub them down with vinegar or something,
I mean, I already smell like
and
that.
soap.
It kind of has that regular smell.
Yeah, so it's fine if we just dump you in a vat of vinegar.
Yeah.
I mean, realistically, I'd prefer to just be in pickle juice at that point.
I mean, it's pickle juice. Pretty much.
Yeah,
Without,
that's what I'm saying.
yeah. So we're just gonna pickle Kobold Jones for 30 minutes while all the the ticks hop out of him.
Do you pickle a
Yeah.
kobold? Does it become a dragon?
That's a good question.
Yeah, 30 minutes would be about just enough time to drink all the juice too, so.
Okay.
Charles kind of sits back down. Takes a piece of bread.
Okay,
Nibbling on it.
right. Bartholomew, personally, as per usual, especially in situations like this, I would appreciate your counsel in going into a meeting like this, but if you don't want to, I will respect your wishes.
No, I think it does qualify as one of my jobs, so I will endeavor to be a point of counsel for this group of seekers who often heed my counsel on these dire matters. And
We certainly
Mr.
listen.
Jones. Yes, listening. Very good. Shall we then? Bartholomew will stand up and crumb themselves off.
Believe I'm ready.
Dun, 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 dun. Everyone good?
Yeah, I'm ready.
I'll tuck my axe in my belt a little bit tighter.
Gotta press that in nice and tight and pull another belt loop in so you look slim.
God, I know you said axe, but I thought you said ass. I'm not gonna
Tucks his
lie.
ass?
I'm.
The whole
I guess-
new way of tucking.
Yeah, kind of two birds, honestly.
You gotta turn those muffins into flapjacks, man. You gotta tuck that ass.
Yeah.
Anyway, so opening the door. Give it a second for everyone to get over the giggle fits. How you doing, Cobalt Jones? How you doing, Vel? Us?
Yeah, you'll see later.
Oh, jeez. Gotta break in that new house eventually. All right. Anyway, so opening the door to the outside kind of patio area, you all view the entrance to a very lavish-looking office. There is thin carpeted floors that look as if they've been made out of a type of almost like animal fur. that kind of runs the length of the room. There are a number of placards that are like gold standards and like almost like awards that have been hung up across and strewn through much of the room itself. There is a very heavy open floor space, of which in the center of you see a very dominant looking table low to the ground with a heavy looking sculpture that seems to be a summation of Grim Village itself. Various other buildings and projects already planned out and models assembled across this table, kind of denoting plans for how the village itself will evolve. There are a pair of bookcases that run along the western wall as well. You look, and in the far end of the room is a very tall and massive desk, sat with piles of paperwork to either the left and the right sides. And behind it is a very dapper-looking gnomish individual who sits at the back table, and you hear, "Now come on then, go ahead and pull yourselves in a bit. You're letting all the heat out. Come on then. Come if he is."
Head in.
You all stomp in one after another. The door closes behind you. You hear a roar of a fire erupt out as the door recloses. And on the eastern wall, right, western wall is the bookshelf, eastern wall, a small kind of fireplace lights up. You see this individual hop down from a kind of like lifted and padded seat, and you hear the clattering of a cane come through, a tapping of a pipe, and a heavy kind of exhume of a smoke as it kind of lights up. You hear, "Now on then, ow. My boy George, he done told me to be expecting the Seekers of Galanti. Might that be yourselves?"
Indeed, that is us.
"Oh, very good then. A pleasure to be meeting your fine acquaintances, my dear Seekers of Galanti. I've heard innumerable things from your mistress about the quality of your work, and when Georgie presented me the opportunity to reach out to you, I could not pass up such an offer." You see this man slowly approach to you, hobbling along with a cane and smoking of his pipe. He's a sharp-dressed gnomish man. He looks to you all and goes, "Well, formal introductions be thou as they may, I am the one and only Mr. Tontuan. I do ever so much thank you for coming to pay me a visit." Oh, sorry. They say the smoking will kill me one day, but it hasn't in many years, so we do assume I'll be fine as it is. Tell me now, what brings you in all out of the cold? Whose hand do I have to shake for your being here?
Well, you did ask us in, so I suppose you shake your own hand, but I am Velithur Downvey. I am the leader of our little group here, and it is a pleasure to meet you, sir.
Oh, Velithur, very good to meet you as well. Pleasure is, of course, all mine. And he reaches his hand out to shake your arm, or shake your hand, already kind of moving to make sure that he shakes with the appropriate hand that is available to you. He goes, "Very good to meet you, ma'am." And kind of like cups, again, like the front of your fingers, and does a kind of a gentleman's handshake. Looks to the rest of you and goes, "Now, please, my esteemed guest, I do thank you for coming in this day. Please have yourselves a nice seat, if you would. We all can discuss the matter that has brought you to my doorstep, if that is quite all right with your arrangement."
Yes, I believe we're all quite curious.
Oh, curiosity will kill a cat, but thankfully no one is of the feline persuasion. I assume your needs have been attended to before arriving here? Food, beverages, all of the like? We may cut to brass tacks, as they say.
Oh, quite nicely and quite lavishly, Georgie. A wonderful, wonderful individual.
Tremendous man. I could not ask for a better hand in all of well, whatever hunter's reach we do find ourselves in now. Right then. And he moves and slowly canes over to a small kind of like meeting table. The table for you guys is probably sitting no more than like right at like knee level. To him, it's like a perfectly sized table for a gnomish individual. And he sits down at it and looks you all over as he kind of relights his pipe and takes a few heavy smokes out of it and looks you all over and he goes, "It is ever so good to be putting a face to the illustrious career that I hear on the radio of each and every one of you of the Seekers of Gulani. I'm sorry, Gulan-Ti, is that how they say it? Am I pronouncing that right?"
Yes.
Oh, very good. The dapper gent on the radio pronounces it with such emphasis. There's a number of things of Gulan-Ti and lots of yelling. It makes for a rather exciting listening experience. I try to keep up with your story as much as I am able, but certain days there are many stories that I would prefer to pass an interest on, unfortunately. Not everyone needs to know what you bought at the local market, respectfully. But tell me, you are responding to our notice, is that right?
Yes, you requested aid for some protection of land, I believe it was?
Oh, yes. So indeed, we had initially come to terms with the needs and wants of security, being as it may. But in these troubling times, we have seen the evolution of a number of individuals that have truly exceeded expectations. When at first we thought we would have to fight for every bit of land I had purchased abroad. Instead, we found the local color to be rather accommodating once the prerequisite coin was issued out to the right palms, if you catch my drift.
Well, it's good things went so smoothly then.
Yes, smooth as liquor is rich. Now, my calling you here has not been cancelled for a singular purpose, and I would request that you might hear me out on this juncture, if that is at all possible for you.
We are here to hear.
Here to hear. Now, that is a way to say that. I certainly do appreciate your candor. To say this as, well, directly as possible, when we, and that is to say myself, Georgie, and a number of my most trusted and esteemed associates, made our venturing and travels across the better part of Ravon, we had heard tale that there was some troubling individuals in the area. Upon arrival, we had already pre-purchased a number of, well, how do you say this, muscle to ensure a safe venture in these lands. But after meeting with the, well, shall we call them emissaries of this land, we found them to be quite amicable, provided that a tribute was given to them in turn. Now, while I do not mind their trifle of a tribute, I would very much welcome a bit of, shall we say, overkill on the matter to renegotiate such an arrangement we have right now. Would that be something that might perhaps find yourself available for?
And how many individuals are we speaking of?
Well, I would not know. I would not profess to have a count or true knowledge of their inherent numbers. No doubt you have found them to be rather accommodating on your road and journey from the south all the way to here, so northern folk. These scimitars, or whatever they call themselves these days, while hospitable and, of course, of the utmost, shall we say, kindness in what they do. They are, at the end of the day, quite much in the land of crookery. Now, I, in my long experience as a businessman, have of course understood that these individuals must be, well, played nice with when the time arises, but if adequate summation of force were to arrive that would perhaps see reason to lawful and more calm, peaceful people, then at least you must inquire as to what a service like that might run up a bill of, if you catch my drift. Bartholomew leans in and goes, I think he wants us to deal with people.
Yes, I gather that.
All
How perceptive, buddy.
I'm just translating. Thank you so much.
The question is, do you wish their leaders brought in for your negotiations, or do you just want the fields cleared out?
Well, I negotiating is what it is, but in my experience with this sort of, shall we say, excuse me, criminal elements, I find that a big stick is best to clean away much of the vermin. No offense, my young friend. And points to Charles. It's like, goes, the idea here is that if they are brought to heel and to the negotiating table, they will, of course, say whatever they need to while the stick is present. But I, of course, don't presume that I would be able to employ you for the remainder of your days to ensure everyone's manners are kept elbows up off the table while we are eating. It is for this reason I think I have the unenviable task of asking you and your group to solve this problem in a more permanent situation.
Certainly is something we're capable of doing. Do you know where we'll find them before we discuss it further, or will we just be wandering through the forest?
If you are wandering through a forest, then you are far beyond when I last heard of their most recent area of procurement, so to speak. When I had last met them, they were hightailed across the river for a time. But if they found themselves some coverage in the forest, then that is most likely a lead you are more aware or informed on instead of myself. Typically, this is a matter that I leave to professionals. I'm a businessman first and foremost. I do not fancy myself a scout or field reporter of any kind.
Of course, it's just all information is best known.
Oh, of course. And if I could provide any additional information, I would be beside myself to rush it to your hands and to your ears as quickly as I am able. This is a problem that I see as a small bit of poison in this beautiful land otherwise. A treacherous band of brigands that truly, I think, cannot be trusted in the long haul of things. Their methods are savage, and I fear that, well, when I'm no longer around, they'll put the squeeze on old Georgie. His kind heart is not meant for such things.
I mean, I know these are bad guys that they steal and that there's a special vendetta against them, but I mean, are we really going to just go out there and slaughter a bunch of people?
Well, is it any different than going on a hunt, young man? I mean, if a certain population of deer is overpopulated, you're more or less saving them from themselves at that point. Or saving the local wildlife, in another turn of phrase. Is that not what you heroes do, is save people? I might be a bit confused, and I do apologize for all the, well, bright lights and fancy stories what hear from the radio.
Can I just ask what's your current negotiation with them?
Well, unfortunately that does fall under the purview of a non-disclosure arrangement between both my company and their services. Legally speaking, in the event that, well, the churches or local governments might be involved, or any of my business partners, I technically do not have an arrangement with these savages. But between friends, closed doors, and what have you, and in the effort to be as open and honest as I can with you, they have agreed to not harass the local populace, so long as I bleed my purse for them at a variable amount, shall we say, as well as other goods and services that they can lay claim to upon request. Truly, they are seeing a hog eat at the trough and wondering if they can suckle at the teat of what rolls off. Parasite, if you quite understand me.
Oh, you mean like dire fleas?
Dire fleas, oh, what a disgusting verminous insect. If any of you do have dire fleas, please let me know so I can use my good shampoo after this meeting.
Oh, none of us have dire fleas. That would be terrible. We would definitely let you know. That's highly contagious. Yeah, we would definitely tell you.
Yeah. First thing they tell you, you start getting the numbness, you start feeling them burning sensations. It's never very
that
good.
Uncontrollable itch, and she'll reach up and just kind of itch behind her head.
Kind of just like that, I would say, yeah. But they usually go a bit more southern, so you'd be fine if your head's scratching. Maybe you have lice, darling.
I'll make sure to use my lice shampoo tonight just in case.
Be good on you. If you can't find your own, there's a beautiful herbal remedy that we sell at the gift shop within the resort.
There's a gift shop?
Of course there's a gift shop. Did you not walk right past it on your way to the casino today?
Must have missed it. How could I miss that?
Oh, it happens all the time. If you visit the third floor and get yourselves a couple of rooms, they'll be more than happy to show you what a gift shop is. We collect a number of apothecarial items that are of a high standard, as expected by my holdings company to provide to our esteemed guests, of which you can count yourself among that.
Oh, that we do appreciate. If I may ask, then, would this be the only matter you have to request of us?
Well, in truth, there are a number of things I could request of you, but I'm none sure of what would be quite worth your time. I have a number of business ventures, irons in the fire that I'm still waiting to hear back on. There's a very profitable venture that I am very excited to hear back on from a southern refinery of some of the most majestic shines that I have beheld within this area. I've heard that truly it is the lightning in a bottle that many people have spoken of very highly within the hunter's reach, but as of yet I've not received correspondence from them to order in caseloads to my resort and casino.
I was just curious because of the initial request for such an extended hiring, as it were, and just a bit curious if other things, or if this not simple, but this singular matter is all that truly was what we saw before us, and then to that I must be curious of what pay is offered, as I assume it is different from the original offer.
Well, of course. Now I do apologize for the confusion on that. Georgie, as I said, got a bit ahead of himself in his fears and summations. He was, well, the man is beautiful, but is very short-sighted, as it might be, and rushed off the request to you for a prolonged stay before we had truly had to sit down with what we thought to be savage bandits and, well, highwaymen of sorts. Being as it may that you'd be solving a problem, I do suppose I could maybe hear what something of that sort of, well, as your man has put it here, difficult arrangement might be. I know you probably don't get out of your bedrolls for less than an amount. And surely we could come to terms with that. You know your prices. I'm simply an interested buyer, happy to fulfill your coffers.
Well, I think we have an understanding of what you'd like from us. If we could take a moment to discuss amongst ourselves.
Oh, but of course. I'll excuse myself here and gesture myself a bit of a wash of my hands, if that'd be quite alright. Would that be applicable for you folks? Would that be quite acceptable?
Just one question before you go.
Yes, ma'am. How may I help you? Oh. Yes.
If the scimitars would be willing to relocate, is that something you would be okay with instead of the alternative of what is being implied?
Well, now that is a rather precarious question you present to me here, darling. I do apologize. Strong stature, armored. I'm going to assume you are Celeste, is that correct?
That's
Your
correct.
reputation doth precede you, darling. Well, ma'am, now I know that you hero types often do see the gray zone of certain things, that not everything need be black and white, bloodshed, or diplomacy. But in my experience with ruffians such as this, who would take an honest day's work and carve out their own piece of the pie, having contributed nothing to the equation, if you relocate them or offer them salvation elsewhere, they'll just start right back up with the next person they can see to fleece. My good heart would not see it in a way to burden other folks with that type of responsibility. I think disbandment or destruction is truly the only way I see this going for them. I wish I could save their lives, I truly do, but the longer that they continue to drink of my blood here, the longer they will grow fat and bold to expand out and hurt other people. God forbid. I hear they're already charging people an arm and a leg just to travel up the northern roads. Have I answered your question, ma'am?
I believe you have. Thank you.
Very good then. Is there any further comment you might require on my behalf?
I just have one. So, what is it that you're expecting from us to prove to you that the scimitars are no longer?
Well, considering the size of such an organization, I feel that the shockwaves of their disbandment or destruction would be felt across the countryside. Of course, no longer need to fulfill the obligations of which we have spoken of previously would be a a great boon to me and my association, my company. I think, provided you do a job, due to the size and scope of their organization, they wouldn't have to be too much. I'm not asking for anything barbaric, like the head of their leader or what have you. I don't want you to misconstrue my intent here. Maybe we just put the fear of the Weavers themselves in them. Let them know that justice doesn't sleep, that criminal activity is not tolerated among hard-working folk, that the laborers out in the field to those who run the games at the tables alike stand united against such criminal threats. I think that's what I'm asking for you.
I understand. Thank you.
Of course, young man. And, might I say that is a mighty fine suit of armor you find yourself in.
Thank you.
Of course, sir. Might anyone else have further questions before you convene among yourselves?
Yes, sir. I have a couple of questions. They're kind of unrelated to each other, but the first one would be, do you have a plan in place for the removal of these folks, since they are seeming to take care of what's, roaming around the wilds around here? Because from a bit of our understanding is that they are handling quite a bit of the wildlife that no one else wants to deal with right now.
And I believe that is a consideration to have, and a very smart question from you, ma'am. I truthfully have found that hunting is quite the sportsman's event. We already have a number of individuals invested in the hunting rights for these lands, and currently it seems as if the small militia, as what it is overhunting much of what we find here in an attempt to bankrupt these fertile lands of any of any type of sustenance that a hunter might toil away at in the fields. Previously, these villages were a place in which a hunter could make a living, collecting pelts and meats, and, well, living the dream, as many would say. I should hope to welcome back in a safer environment a number of those hunters back to Grim Village, as it has been reopened and, of course, made better by my association and company. Is that quite an understanding we have there?
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. And then my second question, if you would so oblige. What was the last correspondence that you had with the Lightnings?
With the Lightnings? Well,
yes, sir.
I wouldn't much in the way call it correspondence. I had sent a fella from my bar selection here to go and find me reputable distilleries and breweries in the area that we might enter into contract negotiation with. Oh, the Mr. Lightning who doth run the Shinery, I believe it is, had little to communicate back to us. The offered buying price that I had initially offered, I think he might have taken as an insult, and I had yet to hear back from him with a rebuttal. I had sent another gentleman some many weeks ago to see if he had gotten my initial and had any response for me, but they turned back empty-handed, and I desperately wish to sit down with the man and have a civil discussion with him, but I've been too busy to come away from the village, and as I understand it, he is ever so busy fulfilling his obligations throughout the world that would speak of his lightning in a bottle. I truly find him to be a remarkable man and of the highest character to prioritize his business over new endeavors.
Well, I will,
When he says that, does it sound like there's any, like, hidden
Yeah.
vehemence or, like, I don't know, over embellishing on his I don't know, his view of Mr. Lightning.
Oh, are you trained in insight?
I am.
Roll insight.
JJ, also roll insight, please.
Go right ahead.
24.
24. And JJ?
I'm sorry, actually it's 22.
22. Okay.
Not hard.
Let me just pull this up really.
Mhm.
It is a 20, dirty 20.
Dirty 20? Okay. JJ with a dirty 20, you get the feeling that this is probably a person that is more on the level than not. A lot of what he's saying sounds pretty normal for a guy who would not, obviously based on stature and business and value, would probably not make a meeting and like push people away from their business to like have a sit down with them. More than likely they'd be a person that would like invite somebody to come sit with them at their place of business. Just seems to be like the way of doing things for this individual. With a 22, Cobble Jones, you discern that like it's not that there's anything that you can tell that's like blah blah blah, like, you know, overbearing or evil or any of that stuff. It does feel, in your experience, like an oversimplification of how this went. You're not quite sure if there was ever like a letter that came back from Mr. Lightning, or if there actually was correspondence. That seems like it's still kind of muddled, gray area, might not have. But you definitely get the feeling that, like, you know, he sent 2 letters and 2 messengers and nothing ever came back. Seems a bit kind of like watching it over and oversimplifying it to an extent.
Alright, I gotcha.
Well, I'll have to let the madam of the house know, because unfortunately Mr. Lightning is no longer with the company.
No longer with the company. Was he pushed out by his board of directors, or?
Oh, no, sir, he was murdered.
Oh my. That is. Oh.
You can let my mother know, though, that you're searching for an answer.
He takes like a step back as if he's been like hit in the chest. He takes his cane and kind of folds it over the front of his right forearm and takes 2 very big steps towards you, like shakily. And he goes, "I am so sorry to hear of this. I was not aware that the formidable JJ Lightning was of the same familial ties as the Lightning family moonshinery. Your man was held in truly the highest regard, and my heart bleeds for you and your mother."
We appreciate it. He was a good man who knew what he was doing. But the missus does have pretty much a pretty damn good head on her shoulders, and I'm sure she can accommodate you and work with you a bit.
I would greatly appreciate any type of communication you could establish between my business holdings and your family. Truly, I only know the man from reputation, to which I can say as an outsider looking in, that was an immaculate reputation to behold as a businessman. Some would say he was a overnight success, but truly that is when your wealth is made. A day, like a bolt of lightning himself, truly rising above the occasion. I am desperately sorry to hear this news, but if there is anything that you and your family could need in this time, please do not hesitate to ask it of me, and I will do my best for you.
We certainly appreciate it. I will get a little notice sent to her to get back to you as soon as she can.
Thank you ever so much, but business must come secondary to that which you can call family. There's a number of employees you can rehire, fire, and turn their lives around, but family is forever, and truly, I am sorry that this has happened to you.
Oh, it's quite all right. If you ever want to visit the Man in Stone.
Hmm.
They've done a little something on the farm if you ever get the chance.
Hmm. JJ, are you trained in perception?
I have expertise in perception.
When you say the Man in Stone, you see Charles take a knee and start praying for just a moment. Does like a little bit of like a sprinkle across the front of his nose, and then sits back down. And Bartholomew kind of like very quietly like, "Are you okay? If worms?" And you see them kind of like elbow.
Did you just Tim Tebow us?
He 100% Tim Tebow'd you. Gotta say a prayer. Got Tim Tebow it.
Fantastic.
TT, actually, in the same vein of what we're just talking about,
Oh yes, sir.
and I hope this isn't overstepping, but
Just a moment, if you could. I'm so sorry. I will get to your question. And he goes and pulls out a small handkerchief and like kind of dabs the corners of his eyes, and takes a big deep breath. And you see there's some like misting on his old gnomish eyes. And he goes, "All right, son. I do apologize. Go right ahead." And he takes his cane back into his hand and stands up tall as he's able. Looks to you and goes, "Please go ahead. Devilish news, terrible news today."
oh, I understand. Just so that we can dot our I's and cross our T's to the situation.
Of course.
Could you, by chance, provide us the names of the messengers that you sent?
Oh, of course. They were Georgie's boys. Give me just a moment. I don't know them personally, but I wrote their names down in my ledger. Could you give me a bit of a minute, sir?
Sure.
Oh, very good, thank you. And he slowly hobbles with a cane over to his desk and tries to reach up, and you note that his right arm, doesn't seem to like go up past like shoulder level. And so he kind of like winces, turns his cane over in his other hand, and then his left arm kind of reaches up onto his desk and he pulls over a ledger and starts flicking through it. And he goes and takes this ledger and walks it kind of like hobbly back over to you and presents this like ledger. And he points at it, and he goes, "This is the last messenger I paid for delivery on it. Let's see here. And do you read Gnomish?
I do not.
You know, okay. So he'll point to the name, and he'll say, "This is a individual Georgie found in town. Used to work for Mr. Markham Southwell, one of the hunting lodge masters. Says here he gave me the name of Wesson."
Just a singular name?
I didn't press people for their familial ties. If Georgie vouched for him, then truthfully, that is all I would require. If that's all I ever need, truthfully. Might I ask if you have encountered one of my messengers?
Not that I know of. I just wanted to get an idea of who it was, just make sure there was no funny business.
Oh, of course. If you would like, if it would help in easing your worry, or perhaps further any investigation that might lead to the arrests of the demonstrable creatures behind this horrific event, I can make you a copy of this page if you so need it.
That would be perfect. It would definitely help our investigation.
Very good.
Yes, thank you.
He takes the ledger and walks back over, opens one of his drawers and starts setting about laying a fresh piece of paper over the page, and then taking one of his rings and tapping and folding the seams and creases in. There's a flash of light as you see the ink kind of like almost bubble, like it's kind of like a tar pit. Like you see like the page itself shake and then bubbles ink out of it and stains the top layer of the page. He takes it and flicks it, and the page kind of does that thing where I can't really do it. I don't have like a piece of paper, but it does that thing where it like folds and like is standing upright. He kind of waves it haphazardly with his left hand up in the air, and slowly canes back over across the large room and presents it to you, Celeste. He goes, "Here you go. That's everything that I paid for as far as services that day, and the names of each individual that came into this office."
Thank you so much.
Of course. And I will personally say this, especially dealing with a murder. I officially cannot get involved in familial business, but I will offer you and your group 50,000 gold pieces if you bring whoever did this to justice. I will not stand for an affluent businessman in my area to be beaten and murdered. If you can solve that for me, my own problems are secondary at this point. That is an atrocious violation of the rights that we hold as citizens in this land.
We'll do our best.
Does that include the second fella that you sent on over, sir?
Oh, the first individual, that would have been some time ago. Let me see if I have the ledger here. I go through them. Hold on. And he goes back to his desk. He flips through the ledger, and he goes, I would have to pull it out of records. I can get it for you maybe tomorrow morning or so, but it has been some many months since then.
Oh, okay. That makes perfect sense. And I'm sure it's not too big of a issue, but if you could have someone drop it by,
Of course.
I would appreciate it. Thank you, sir.
Of course. Yeah, he takes his cane, and you see him push the pommel up to like the side of his throat, and he goes, George, hey, go pull my ledger book out of the archives. I'm looking for that delivery boy you sent out the way to Lightning House. Thank you kindly. And puts his cane back down. You see like a puff of purple smoke signaling the sending spell. And he sets it back down. He goes, Georgie will get it. I apologize. I don't tend to keep those books on hand, as we tend to go through them so very often.
It's entirely understandable.
Mm-hmm. Now then, I will, of course, excuse myself so that you might meet and congregate among yourselves for this decision-making process, as heroes often do, yes?
We thank you.
Yeah, thank you right as well. If there is anything you so do require, just call for it, and I will do my utmost. I will try not to listen in, of course, but maybe a loud shout or a bell or something, you may ring it. Very good then. Please take all the time you might so need. And he heads back past his desk, and there's a pair of like large sliding doors. He opens them up, and you can see the entrance to like a like lounge and like smoking area that leads further into what appears to be like a whole penthouse of this, with the office in the front. He kind of slides through and he goes, be well now, Sigazagolani. And he slides the two doors back together, and you hear a latch flick over. And he exits from the room. You are left in his office. Unsupervised, even.
Oh no.
Oh, no.
I immediately run over to the desk, start searching it.
Oh.
I'm kidding.
I was like, what do you want to search on?
Just not really. Okay.
This place
Heavy
is
metal
well
armor. Clang, 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 clang.
Alright, so what do you guys think?
A lot of money.
We didn't even get an amount for the other job.
Yeah. Didn't Lady Gulante say something about, at minimum, 10,000?
I believe it was 10k a week.
Yeah.
Did we have a time frame on what it was supposed to be?
It was several weeks of work. I can't remember if it was 4 or 6, but I have the paperwork right here, and I'll check it.
Yeah. It looks as if kind of lady was kind of right on that. It was 4 weeks minimum with an extension, an option to keep you on longer if need be. Good old.
And it was
wrestling
10k.
contracts. Yeah, 10,000 gold a week for what they effectively listed as protection services, and looking it over as like now you know the people who wrote it. While it's very like flamboyant writing and like great calligraphy, there is like a little bit of like shakiness in the paper of like, especially Cobalt Jones being a detective, doctor, and affluent man about town.
Celeste is a detective.
Yeah,
I've never said
Celeste Detective Services.
I've never said that I'm a detective. I would
Oh,
not
sure,
lie.
just Celeste.
Yeah, I would not lie about my skills.
Yes, having a detective in the party. Celeste then would very much note that this probably was penned a little bit under duress, like feeling that this is kind of like a little bit of like a life or death request. At least hearing the stories of it and then looking at it over, there are certain letters and words that are like scribbled and like shakily done, as if somebody had like either like a hand tremor or was like writing and not caring that there were like small like ink splashes and spills around the edges of the letters. So
Hey, JJ, just as an aside too, kind of got a weird vibe from TT when he was talking about the letter carriers. I feel like he might have skipped over a little bit of information there. I don't know that it was malicious, but he definitely glossed over it.
Well, after, sitting in on some of my father's, business meetings, he is a businessman, and it's kind of hard sometimes to get a read exactly on what's going on there. What I got was that he was trying to make himself seem like he did what he needed to do and didn't overstep, but it felt like a bunch of pretty much business talk. I couldn't get past that, but thank you for the extra insight on that. Thank you that you were looking out for me too. I do appreciate that.
Absolutely. This is actually out of character. Well, no, I guess I'll do it in character because
Okay.
I don't really remember what was the guy's name that that killed your father.
I had it written down as Corvold. I think I have it written down incorrectly, but it was something with Corville.
I thought it was Corville.
Yeah,
I believe you said Corval.
yeah.
Oh, that's right. It was Orville's evil twin.
Yep. Sure,
Fresh
he's
from
out
the
there.
cornfields.
There is one thing we can check about the kind of pressure he was putting on your father. We have his notes. We can compare them to his handwriting on that script that Celeste was so wise to get a copy of.
Yeah, we certainly could.
Corville didn't have like a last name, right? This
No.
isn't like Corville Wesson or something like that.
No. Hey, maybe we can ex-nay this combo A, given we can probably be heard A from the
yeah,
other room A.
This place is definitely bugged.
Oh, okay. So we know that. So
Well, yeah, you're in here and you got the fleas.
me? Because it's lice.
No.
It's not fleas.
Oh,
Okay?
you got lice? Ooh.
No!
Wait
I
a
don't-
minute, we're all
Wait.
sleeping in the same dome and you got lice?
I don't know for
You
sure.
over
He
that?
said that I got lice, and now I'm all paranoid. And you know how when
Who's
you
gonna
think you
check
have
your
bugs,
head?
you'll do it, right?
We're gonna have to shave your head.
No! We can't shave my head! Do you know how long it took me to grow this out?
We might have to put you in the apple cider vinegar bath along with Cobalt Jones.
I thought it was a pickle vat.
They
It's
said they had a
vinegar.
formula for sale here.
Oh, that's right.
In the
that's
gift
right.
shop. How did we miss the gift shop, y'all?
We
How?
were very excited
I
about
was
the
very
slot machines
excited.
on this.
Yeah, the casino
Yeah.
was just,
Also, the bar was wonderful.
Are
You
there
went to
any-
the bar?
was
Did you not go to the bar?
I didn't.
no, I just went to the slot.
Delightful
God.
drinks.
We're doing it again. We're doing it again. Focus, focus. Okay. All right. Here's my thoughts. If we're just going to talk freely in here and we don't care, the walls are tapped, do we care?
Presume that we're being listened to.
Okay, well then, I'm just going to say that I just don't know how I feel about murder, but...
I think if there was a way to do, enact swift justice on those that are responsible, I could get over that. But the idea of just savagely killing all of the scimitars that may or may not be really crooked and just found their way into that life because they had no other option, that bugs me.
They chose that life, though, and pardon me talking from the other perspective here, but we did deal with them once a very long time ago when they were a much smaller group, and we let them go after a little kerfuffle. But you see how they down and attack innocent individuals' carriages. They are not operating like kind, protective highwaymen. They are quite dangerous.
To add another point too, both sides, I definitely see the ones that kind of fell into it because they didn't have another choice, really. But we also, happened upon some of their folks when we helped out Claus or whatever. And they were just gonna raid through his stuff and not even check to see if he was okay or if what was making that noise or anything.
I forgot all about Klaus. I say we kill him. I forgot about Klaus. I don't like the way they treated Klaus. You're right. That wasn't nice. So, yep, I'm on board. Mass murder.
That was like a switch being flipped. I'd still rather want to have a word with them if it were at all possible, but I just want you to understand that I don't think we're talking about a bunch of innocents here.
Is the word fireball?
Oh, you're thinking that intensely. Okay.
I guess it's just
so violent, so fast.
We're here as trying to be arbiters of justice in this situation. Is the penalty for theft just gruesome murder?
Can I just high five Celeste after that comment?
In the history of this game, there have been about 5 high fives. I need you both to roll sleight of hand. Celeste, what do we get?
That nat 1.
Nat 1, got it. Morgan, what do we get?
A dirty 20.
Dirty 20, alright. Morgan, you go in for that big high five. Celeste goes in with turkey. Full fist into your hand. It's maybe the worst high five
hand?
we hit. Yeah, you can grab her hand like a clamshell.
Yeah, like a...
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, uh-huh.
Are you developing a secret handshake?
That's a great secret handshake.
It's not
Absolutely.
fair. I don't have a secret. Mr. Jones,
Celeste, is your hand alright?
Yeah, I think I did it wrong. This isn't what we practiced.
So it's not the secret handshake then.
So we're still working on a secret handshake.
The secret
We'll figure it out, don't worry.
Can it be left-handed,
We'll get there.
please?
To be honest, I don't think we're supposed to know.
Business! Just like we have those sidebar whispers, y'all just are all up in my business all the time! Dang, can't have anything fun!
I feel like we have a lot
I'm
of
just
fun
trying to
things.
make sure. I'm just wondering if Morgan's blood tried to stab you again.
True.
I
Tap
just
it.
thought it was neat.
I don't think so. I think we're good, right?
Hmm.
Is your
Yeah,
hand
but-
bleeding?
You pull your hand back, you're fine.
Wow, y'all are meant to be besties, I guess. The
girl
blood
who
likes
lived.
Celeste.
The person that lives inside her must like me now. We're bonding, I guess.
That's amazing.
Just
I
talking
know.
about everything out loud now.
I think we should
It's
do
Right
Yeah.
after that whole
Oh,
name debacle.
You should give her a hug.
You're gonna be the one that heals Morgan now.
Or science.
Do you want a hug, buddy?
Nope. Sure don't.
for science. Come on, man.
And
No, definitely not.
we can figure it out once and for all right now.
You know what? I'll think about it. And I'll get back to you in 7 to 10 business days.
I'll
for-
expect your answer.
I will have it on with wings to you. For what it is worth from a diplomatic standpoint, I think this is rather, not to say arbitrary, but if I were to voice my opinion on here, I will say that the Aurelian government has, at times, done a number of these style of dealings with local mercenary companies, primarily as it related to lizard folk, of all things. But regardless, this does seem to be a rather standard nobleman's ask of cleaning up the area. There's a book about it. I think we talked about it many moons ago. It's called Roadhouse. It's a tremendous book. I recommend everyone read it.
Yeah, buddy, but sometimes laws are not just, and it is exactly people like this that take advantage of others.
I don't think anything we're talking about right now is laws. So Grim Village has always been a very by the people laws kind of place.
Technically, we have gotten a bit of, the divine, as it were. So, Mr. Jones, maybe you're the law now. That'd be cool. I mean, a lot of godly people tend to have, I stand for truth, justice, in the Ravanian way, you know what I mean? So maybe that could be your thing. You could be like, I'm the kobold law, and then you kick him in the groin or something. Seems like right up your alley. Maybe we get you a hammer. You could be like Captain Lawhammer. Or like a gavel. Oh, a gavel would be great.
I just have a serious moral quandary about being in the justice system and yet despising everything that it stands for.
But you could be the justice, the whole system.
I ain't gonna be no cop.
You don't have to be the cop. You're just a law enforcement officer. It's not a cop.
We're not even in the justice system. We're looking at a situation here that a noble and businessman wants taken care of. What laws are you worried about?
Cutting in line.
No, I was talking
terrible
about
one.
Buddy's laws that he was just spouting off as it's okay to do this kind of thing in Aurelia, and that doesn't matter. It's what's right is what matters.
Oh, that's true. No, that's
So
that's
what
fair.
is what's right in this situation?
I don't know, but I know that senselessly killing them all is not right.
Well, I don't think we'd end up killing them all.
And I don't think we'd be doing it senselessly. I think Miss
Look, in the
Vell
heat of the
had
moment-
mentioned. I think Miss Vell had mentioned maybe talking to him first and seeing what's up.
If it's an option. Traveling to try and reach them, we may be put into situations where conversations are not so easily had.
Sure. And I understand that.
I mean, well, didn't you say you knew where they were at, Mr. Jones?
No, I don't know where they're at. You
Oh.
gotta talk to the detective for that.
Oh, sorry, Detective Celeste. Do we know the location of these, maybe not criminals, according to Mr. Jones?
Well, maybe.
Okay.
She's gonna look around the room. Are we having this open dialogue, or are we not having?
Just
Oh,
leave
oh,
that
yeah,
at maybe.
yeah. Okay, maybe.
We
That's
maybe.
fine. Maybe. Got a lead.
Yeah, maybe.
Got
Yep.
some leads to follow. Is that they
I
say
got
in the
some-
big,
got
the
some
big
leads.
books? Yeah. Okay.
Hypothetically.
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 Hypothetically, of course.
Uh,
Charles looks around and goes,
Why do you all say that?
Just join in on it when we say it,
No,
Charles.
I'm not a follower. I'm a leader.
okay.
Be the first one to say it.
Oh.
Question, JJ. Do you remember that picture that you
Mhm.
drew?
The
Of,
one that's all jacked up now.
oh, is it jacked up now?
I mean, I can try and resketch it, to be
A
honest.
werewolf found kind of ripped through it.
Yeah, the werewolf clown did that.
Oh. Okay. Okay. Well, do you think you could make it again? Then maybe we could show him, and maybe he'll know who he is.
I could start sketching, I guess. JJ will just start sketching.
I
Sketch
would
it from
think
memory.
that showing it to Georgie might produce better results. I doubt that Mr. Thune handles such micromanagement. Perhaps he does. Some hands-on higher-ups.
Yeah, if someone wants to, I don't know, hand it to Georgie and I can look at him real close
Do you think
while
that
he
there's-
looks over it real close.
Okay. I was gonna say, do you think that there's any chance that Georgie's in on it? But I guess you just answered that.
Honestly, I don't know. These business folks really keep their cards to their chest for the most part. That's what's got me all like kind of confused and not sure where to really look, you know.
All right. Well,
But I mean, that
I
was
think
a
I'm
big
okay
sum.
with going towards the bandit place, but I just desperately don't want it to get out of hand. I've done slaughters before, trying to not be that guy anymore.
I, for one, am very proud of you, Mr. Jones.
Thank you, buddy.
Of course.
I don't think any of us want it to go that way, hopefully.
I mean, you guys did just turkey high five back there.
Mind your business up there, peanut gallery. What the hell?
What's up there?
Yeah,
We're all
exactly.
sitting at a table together.
Well,
like-
that side of the table. Don't look to this side when we're busy.
DM, is there any like shaggy rugs or like fur covered chairs?
The floor is like animal fur. It's like a carpeted animal fur that runs the length of the room.
Okay, I've made sure to be sitting on it.
Sitting just on the floor.
Yeah.
Okay,
Whatever the furriest, hairiest possible thing is.
Oh, okay. He wouldn't have like fur furniture. Like he has like the carpet is literal like fresh like fur from like an animal. But he would have like in the room probably hold on, let me double check my notes. Oh, one moment.
You know you don't actually have fleas, right?
So the actual like the most expensive like exotic thing in the room that you could like rub your butt on, there is a like a chair sat beside a very immaculately made silver table, where there seems to be a small box of like hand rolled cigars. The chair itself is actually striped and looks to be of some type of like exotic animal that was killed and then kind of like fitted for the chair.
Okay, so I am 100% sitting in that chair, and
Okay.
so just imagine that this whole time we're having this conversation, I'm yelling across the room at you guys, while feet up in this chair, getting nestled in real
I
nice.
don't like it. Didn't you just turkey high five? Across the room.
Remember that part where if there's a loud scream, he'll hear it? He's heard everything Cobalt Jones said.
Everything Jones has said has now officially been. There's no way he can't hear it at this point. But yeah, any other things you want to discuss before you start hearing the knocking on the door and requests for like, is it alright if I come back in? Oh.
Yes. Before it comes back in, you said there were like models and workups of like future areas that were going to be developed or whatever.
Yeah, the center of the room has this large, heavy wooden table, and it's legitimately a 1-to-1 scale replica, or like probably like a 1-to-100 or whatever. But it is a model city of Grim Village itself, and like there looks to be like old buildings that are set off to the side, and brand new buildings that have recently been like modeled and carved up and made. That all kind of sit around.
Are the buildings independent? Can I like find one of the nicer buildings and like try and pick it up?
Yeah, you can. You look over and there's actually like this like beautiful model of a clock tower that looks to be replacing the kind of like well and like fountain in the middle of town. And you can pick it up, and there's even like a small little like you hear like not like a bell per se, but it's kind of like when you have like a tin and like a little piece of metal like tick 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 tick. There's a fake bell in this tower that kind of like rattles a little bit in your hand when you pick it up.
Oh my goodness, that's perfect. Alright, I'm gonna set the clock tower back down, and I'm gonna try and find like 3 or 4 other buildings that kind of look a little bit similar, and just like kind of Rubik's Cube them around.
Sure. Give me an investigation check to find 3 buildings that look the same. It's not very high,
Okie dokie.
depending on how you do.
That is an 18.
18. You look it over and you kind of like pore over this model. You find like 3 residential, like kind of more like resort stay or like hotel kind of setups that you could easily turn around and rearrange. Certain ones of them are color coded, like a green roof, a red roof, all that. And you can easily, is the goal to swap them around to make it look different?
Yeah, just to fuck with it a little bit.
Gotcha. You do that. You manage to fuck up the model to where like things aren't color corrected and not matched. With an 18 specifically, you look off to the side where the buildings are still being like constructed, and it looks like there's like scraps and things from like other builds that didn't make it into the model. You note there's a big golden looking placard that's flipped over about the size of a gold coin that's been flattened out that kind of shines in the workbench area.
Could I take a look at it? Does it have anything carved into it? What does it say?
Yeah, you pick it up in your hand, and it's a nice piece of like actual gold that's been flattened and rolled out, and you flip it over, and it actually says Lightning Moonshinery, and there's like a nice gold coin size for like a sign for a shop that would fit in this model.
Yoink. We are gonna pocket that.
All right. Write down that you have a golden model sign for Lightning Moonshinery.
All right. Well, we're gonna sneak it to JJ once we're outside the bounds and premises of this.
Pocketed. Anything else you guys want to do before TT comes back?
Did we come up with a are we going to do this?
I think we're going to go look into it.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure that I had the correct assumption in my brain.
If everyone's good with that.
Yeah.
Very good. All right, then. So the last thing we'll do before TT comes back is go on break. Look at that. It's 8:43 right now. Let's shoot for, why don't we do like a nice even 6 minutes? So we'll shoot for 8:50 when we come back. Sound good, everybody? So 6 minutes on the clock. We'll see you guys after the break. Stay with us. Peace. Hi guys, hey, how's everyone doing? Hope everyone's having a good time and loving it, loving each other, but maybe not loving each other like right this minute. We thank you for staying with us after the break. As always, thank you so much, our level 20 characters. If you're watching us on YouTube, hi YouTube. Hope you're doing well. Hope everyone's having a great night and enjoying the story as it does unfold now. Before the break, the group had started their meeting with TT, the TT in the TT Holdings that makes this land what it is. Meeting him to be an older gnomish gentleman, businessman for most of his life, and kind of presently engaged with the local crime kind of element at this point, and has confessed to the fact that they're kind of paying off the scimitars currently for protection, as it were. So yeah, the group is now pressed with the opportunity or choice or chance to assist them in dealing with this criminal element, as they so said. And we go right back to it. Seekers, we had time to discuss and think about things before we left for break. As we come back from break, is there anything you want to do as you hear the knocking on the door for TT to come back into the room? Yeah. Madam, you about wrapped up in there? Is that all right?
We're ready.
I'll,
Come on in. And I'm gonna nudge Morgan.
I'm gonna cast Detect Thoughts before he comes in.
Detect Thoughts, okay. Sounds good. You see him walk, kind of stroll back into the room, cane in hand, closes the two doors behind him, calmly makes his way and looks over and sees Kobold Jones in his striped chair, and he goes, "Do you like? Mind you be a good friend of that? Do you enjoy that chair, sir?"
Yeah, it's all right.
Yeah, it's all right. It's a gift that I was given over in the east. A fanged beast of sorts made that chair. I'm glad that someone is using it. It sits a bit too deep in the saddle for me. I get quite stuck at times when sitting there. He hobbles back over to his chair around the small table and sits down. He goes, "So then, my esteemed guest, to what has the conversation steered itself towards?"
We are interested in looking into this matter.
Oh, that is ever so good to hear. Morgan, with Detect Thoughts going, are you focusing on him for your target?
Yeah.
All right. When he came back into the room, the top thought on his head for a moment, when he looked at Kobold Jones and had that interaction, was, "Oh, good, someone is sitting in that old chair. I should have dusted it. It's a damn shame. I hope he's not the one that has those fleas, though. It's gonna get right into the leather. I'll probably have Georgie give that to the local charity. I don't want it anymore." And as Vel sits and is like, "Oh, we're interested in that," you hear again kind of surface thoughts and goes, "That's good to hear. At least some justice still in the world." He goes to speak again and goes, "Well, that is tremendous to hear that you'll be looking into it. I'm not, truthfully, not quite advised on how best to procure your services. Is this a sort of payment arrangement? Do I pay in installments? Is there a negotiated rate for your time? Or if you could walk me through it and be ever so good to do so, I would greatly appreciate it."
Generally, the negotiations go back to Lady Galanti, and the fees will be sent to her as well.
Okay, so you'll be doing this out of gratis, and then I'm to contact your lady and say I sent you on these errands, and she'll negotiate a rate then?
Well, seeing the unique circumstance here where we're not quite entering these as we usually do, I suppose we could come to a negotiation up front based upon some of the original proposals that your man Georgie gave.
Very good. You'll have to remind me. Georgie, I believe, was a bit ambitious. I think he said somewhere in the neighborhood of, 7,000 to 10,000 gold pieces a week of work, is that right?
That was the initial offer, yes.
Very good. Well, if that is the offer on the table, I'm, of course, asking for much more at this juncture than simply guarding over the resort and casino and the workers. I'm asking you to Well, invest yourselves into a rather precarious situation as we do find it. Being that this is the case, I assume that a flat rate might better serve you rather than a, well, per diem or how they say, a weekly rate. Maybe we can come to a solid figure that would best serve to, as we say, solve the problem.
Yes, I was hoping so.
All right. Well, what did you have in mind for such a thing?
Out of character,
Mhm.
would I know, like, roughly what it was for, like, the previous jobs, like Ravon and whatnot?
It's hard to say because you know that the lion's share of the profits does go to Lady Galanti.
Mhm.
You do know that for this job, it was flat out written with an offer, which is very, not to say rude, but very like boisterous to include it in the request.
Mhm.
And he was offering again upwards of like 40 to 60,000 for 6 weeks worth of work. But yeah, it's actually a subject you guys haven't really broached with the Lady Galanti.
Yeah,
You make more than when you delivered mail, that's for sure.
indeed.
Godly heroes working for like $19 an hour.
Sorry, I'm trying to check.
Morgan, detect thoughts going as this is being like discussed back and forth. His surface thoughts are all pretty like calm. He's like, oh, well, that's good that we'll have someone to finally deal with that, get all that taken care of. And he starts thinking, and his surface thoughts stop being like words, and you start having like small visual imagery of this like beautifully made duck, and it's like this slow roasted duck that's been cut and like gravy being poured over it, and like as you look and he talks and he takes his like handkerchief, so like takes his handkerchief and at certain parts he's like, well, of course this is how, and like dabs the sides of his mouth. And up until now you probably thought it was just because he's old, he slurs a little bit. Now you're starting to realize like he's got dinner on the mind. He has been sitting in here working all day, and this like beautiful roasted duck and gravy is just prominently on display in the front of his brain. Do you need a moment to run the numbers, or should I field an offer? I don't wish to insult you in the event.
I'm getting an idea in my head, but I'd be willing to hear your offer.
Very good. I think we said 6 weeks of work between, 50,000 to 60,000 is what enticed you all to come out here. I personally don't think, that you wouldn't waste your time if it wasn't worth it. But I also understand that there are certain concessions you have to make for your lady. I do not know what your negotiated rate is with her, but I would be willing to send you all home or on your way with, shall we say, 80,000 gold pieces to see that this is made right for us. That is, of course, if you also will find that there is any correlation or causation with the bounty I have already put on that horrendous murderer, then of course that would be separate from this. Would that be something that might interest you to partake on? I apologize if it is too low.
Decent.
What would you find in the way then to be more appealing if this is just decent?
If we could come to perhaps a clean 100 on the matter, considering its rather urgency and unique difficulties it's presented on you currently.
I was curious. How about you roll persuasion? I think that's a good roll right there.
A very insightful gnome.
Aw.
I think there could be
JJ's
honest
gonna tap her
situation.
shoulder real quick and say, I think you're getting in the right ballpark, and give her a little inspiration.
All right, so you can add an inspiration dice, which is up to what now? It's like a D8 or D10?
I believe that we're at D8 currently.
D8,
Yep,
there.
D8.
Let's hope it's a good D8.
Should have had a D8.
Okay. That is a 14.
14, okay. He thinks it over, he mulls it over for a second, goes, 100,000 gold pieces. It's quite a lot of investment to get together all in one lump. Would you be open to a counter offer? Is that all right?
Of course, we're in negotiations right now.
Very good. How about this? And it might be a bit presumptuous of me, and I do apologize for that. But what if we do a flat rate of 75,000? I know it's less, but with that, being that most of the local guards and authorities of the area do work for me, I could avail you a number of carriages, wagons, or otherwise transportation so that you can haul out whatever, shall we say, missing items have been recovered from these individuals. No doubt based off of not only what I pay in, shall we say, protection, but also just passing people. I have to assume they've made themselves a tidy profit, not all of it in coin. Now, normally, such a recovery effort, to the victors, so go the spoils, I feel that I could, at the very least, assist in your carting and collection of such things. I know there are a number of high-end items that have been mysteriously gone missing from the premises that you might not better find a fence for, or an individual who might have interest in, but I would happily buy back a number of those possessions at a fair and friendly price.
That is a fair proposal. But if I might add one last little thing.
Please.
I know you are quite the busy schedule with all your workers, but Dyewood has come under difficulty and damages from a recent attack.
Oh my.
And if part of an additional agreement could be to maybe allocate a few workers every so often to head down and assist in the repairs?
Members of my construction team to assist with issues in the big city? I could see in my way to meeting in that arrangement. But of course, that would somewhat fly in the face of the profitability that I'm looking at for my workers to be able to, well, not be so stressed and worried looking over their shoulders about these highwaymen, shall we say. I stand to make more than I stand to lose on it, so I do like the idea. But I would have to consider their salary to be paid at a loss. I'm sure you can quite understand that.
I do, but consider the goodwill towards Dyewood that we looked upon.
Oh, I understand goodwill as often I donate, as with the rest of them. But it would be in your name that this goodwill and charity would befall. Not many people will look at such a offering to me and simply state, oh, well, that is a... Cut that out. Okay. All right. So I don't quite know where we lost the drop. But his consideration, he'll say, is you stand to make quite a bit of noise, being saviors to your town and your city, of course, and goodwill that the lady had sent you to do such a thing. Being that it is the case, I would be more than happy to do so, provided you accept a lower lump sum. Say, put a consideration of 5,000 gold pieces out of it. So we'd say I'll provide workers to you for. We'll charitably consider that 5,000 as a month's worth of salary. So we'll send you 70,000 in a lump sum, 5,000 worth of workers for an entire month, and all of the transportation and of course blind eye that I would be turning to any goods recovered that are otherwise of an illicit nature. We of course would just say that you found them on the road, and they of course don't belong to anyone with no claim at all.
And then the possibility of the bounty you'd offer as well.
I do not believe the two are. If you have more information on that, then you are a step ahead of the game, ma'am. I do not know that they directly correlate, per se. I'm not sure there are many murderers, as you have so described them, that hang out in the scimitars, but I do know they are a bit of rough around the edges. If they are correlated, and if those two things do come to pass, then certainly I would be more than happy to pay out the full amount, both for the job I asked for as well as the bounty on the, pardon my language, rat bastard that did this to Mr. Lightning.
Orville's going to take a quick glance at Charles.
Charles thinks this over and goes,
No, I have a dad. I have a dad.
and Charles Tim Tebow's again.
He's our dad, Charles.
This is going to be a horrible episode to edit. All right. Thanks, Internet.
JJ is going to kind of nonchalantly lean over to Vel. You know, I'm willing to invest some of my share so that there's a little extra for Miss or Lady Gulanti and her visions for Deerwood. So, just, you know, if that helps in your decision. I know that you're the captain.
I think that we're coming to a decent arrangement, especially with the bonuses, and it's to each of us if we choose to donate to the cause. It'll be a little while before we could get there to propose that, or we could contact her after she receives the money at least. That is very kind of you. I have to pay for a very expensive arm and pay you and Morgan back, so I probably won't be donating right now.
Oh no, it's fine. I'll go ahead and handle it through my share. It is the least I can do for what this group has done for me.
Very generous. Well, I'll take a look across the group in case anyone is unhappy with the arrangement. Morgan, did we get enough zeros on there?
I think it's sufficient. Also, you can consider the money I loaned you as a gift.
Aww.
Nope, we don't do gifts. We're gonna need that.
You'll have to do that in character though, because Vel's still gonna try and pay you back.
We're gonna need that. We're gonna need that back in full.
I was in character. You guys are stage whispering again.
I believe we have a agreement on this fee.
Very good, then. I will very much like to see this matter put to bed when you are so able. I do wish that I could offer anything else to you. I don't mean to pry, but what are your current sleeping arrangements while you are here in town?
We were taken a bit aback with all the changes. We tried to seek out some old acquaintances and found a friend down by the riverfront who we stayed with, but it's a bit uncomfortable.
I do sorry to hear that. Riverfront. Oh, the old Captain Honeycutt, if I'm hearing that right. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yes, apparently won his property in a card game and is adamant about not selling it. Truly a shame. I would love to put a waterfront district out there, but his land is in a prime location where we would set up such an event. Being that I know how run down that building is, my heart aches for you. If you would see it as a, say a gift between friends unrelated to this endeavor, perhaps I could provide a suite to be made available for you within the resort itself. A key. Just a moment. I could provide this to you. That way, your religious individual in your group would have no problem entering and exiting the premises. I would have to remind you, though, sir, that entering into the rest of the resort or casino with such armaments is, of course, a no-go, as they say. So if you so wish to tour the premises, including meals, you'd have to have them left in the room or your meals brought to the room, as I cannot have such a event within the premises. People want to feel safe here, I'm sure you can understand.
Out of character, I like how you answered my question before I asked it, and then, yeah, I mean, I guess whatever. I won't feel safe walking around without it, so.
I understand. When I was a younger gnome, I often did not feel safe without a wand in my hand. It was a cruel world of tall people who need to be brought to bear. Oh, those were the days. But I do understand it as it is now, sir, and I'll try to accommodate you as to your religious inflections.
I appreciate that.
I do appreciate all that you will come to do for my fair little village. And hopefully, for the fair, beautiful Miss Lightning here and avenging her father. I should hope all of you truly are thankful to be able to have such a kindred friendship as this. Good people are very hard to come by.
JJ, did you finish the picture?
Oh. Yeah, I guess JJ would have been sketching this whole time.
You've got a sketch, no lines. Yeah, we'll say that.
Okay. Do you want me to roll for?
Yeah, sure. Roll. It'd be proficiency. So yeah, just roll d20 plus your proficiency. You're proficient in drawing, so yeah. Oh, fancy dice are coming out. Is that a magnet box? Jesus.
These are my dispel dice.
Oh God. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotta crack out the Tiger Woods golf clubs for these ones.
Oh yeah, that's not good.
What did we get?
We got a total of 10.
10?
Yeah.
You get like a sketch done, but it's like it's the epitome of like an everyman sketch. Like there's still the crossbar in the face. The horns are there for the tiefling, but it's also like there's really no big defining. There's some chiseled like cheekbones, and that's about it. And like, but that's what you have done so far.
I'm just imagining like the chibi eyes or something like that.
Yeah, I feel like you pulled and if you're watching, you pulled the starry, which is you started with your sketch and then you hyper realized the eyes. Oh, there's Orville. There you go. Yeah. I always have a laugh at that. I love watching a lot of different artists do like their process, and I always laugh because there's one of the artists I follow, Starry, will like have like a really base like rough sketch, and then like fully render these beautiful like immaculate starry eyes on like every character, and then continue to do like the lines. And I'm like, the eyes were a stopover.
Look, the eyes are just part of Starry's charm.
No, they're really good. I always find it funny because it's like, oh, I'm just gonna do the whole thing right here, and I'm like, that's fine. It's like watching a painter, and they're just like, fuck the sky. Let's just do all of the river right now. We're gonna do all the bushes and everything. Pretty fun. Anyway. But that's what you have done. Are you showing Orville's sketch to TT?
Celeste, I think I need to clean this up a bit.
That's okay. Actually, sir,
Embarrassing.
could you do you by chance remember what the delivery people looked like?
Delivery people look like? What is that supposed to mean?
The people that sent messages to the Lightning House. Do you remember what they looked like?
Oh, well, you mean like if I would recognize them?
Yes, I was actually hoping maybe you could describe them to us.
To be honest, sorry to interrupt you, sir.
That's alright.
Celeste is trying to ask if you know a kind of tall, purple, kind of chiseled tiefling fella named Corvold, something like that.
Corvold. Tall and tiefling, is that what you said?
Yes, sir.
Morgan, give me a perception check.
The nat 20.
Oh, there you go. So as they mention a purple tiefling, for a split second, the duck and like roasted like gravy and all that stops, and there is a very vivid image of a purple tiefling man with curled horns sitting in the chairs you guys are sitting in right now before it flicks back over to Duck. And he goes, "Oh, I don't... Corvus, I see so many people in a day. I might have met someone like that. Are they an employee of mine, or perhaps..."
That's just our part of our investigation.
Part of your investigation? I do apologize. My brain does not retain information the way it used to, of course. I can't say for sure that I haven't, and I do apologize. I know you'd want a more direct answer than that. I do not recall at this present moment.
Okay. Is that a good answer for you, Miss Celeste? Is there any outward
No,
insight checky?
yeah,
Or is
you
it
can roll
pretty
insight if you
blank?
want. Yeah, feel free to roll insight.
Cool.
Anytime you feel like it, you can always ask to roll insight.
14.
14. With a 14, we'll double check. With a 14, he does seem like very stone-faced and just has general old-manedness on him. Doesn't seem malicious in any way or anything of that sort. Just very much seems like, this is a person who you also saw the ledger of, and every line in a ledger is filled with someone else's name who he met in a day or a week. And he meets tons and tons of people constantly, so.
Can I just confirm, Morgan hasn't seen the guy physically, but she's seen the sketch. Would she know that they're the same?
I would say Morgan's passive investigation and perception would say JJ's sketch is very close to what this hyper realistic looking image you saw flash through surface thoughts for a second, and then it went back to kind of beautiful duck and gravy.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
It was, I could put out a call, maybe, or something like that. Georgie tends to know more people than I do. I will say, detect thoughts last a minute, right? At this point, it's probably done. At this point, that probably the last little bit you get.
Okay.
You got any more good questions for our good sir, Miss Celeste?
Nope. Celeste's just gonna stare at Morgan. No, I think we're good now.
I think we'll figure it out. Don't worry.
Well, very good then. If there is nothing else keeping you here, I will leave it in your capable hands with our agreements as they are. He stands up and outstretches a hand to shake Vel's hand. Ma'am, I truly do treat this as a pleasure.
It has been quite one. Thank you.
He cups the fingers again. He hobbles a little bit, walks over to the next person on the line, looks at Orville, goes, "Sir," and switches to his right hand. "Sir."
Orville will meet him very swiftly.
Thank you very much.
Give a very firm shake.
That is a heck of a grip you got on yourself there, young man. I gotta
Thank
say,
you, sir.
if you were a bit younger, I'd ask you what you might be doing for sports. There's this crazy idea I have that people might be into a bit of entertainment in the sports variety. I've got a few wandering things. If the hero in business doesn't work out for you, please come see me, my boy. And he taps you on the side of the shoulder.
Yes, of course.
Yeah. He walks over to Kobold Jones. He goes, "Man of faith, I would like to shake your hand, but I do not want to offend you, sir."
Okay, so Kobold is still sitting in the chair.
Oh, right. You're all the way over there. Give me a second. We'll get to
Okay.
you. JJ, he comes to shake your hand. He shakes your hand, kind of like very delicately. He goes, "It has been an absolute and remarked honor to meet you, and truly, my heart bleeds for you and your family."
It's appreciated. It was an honor to meet you, and I'll make sure to get a good old note sent to Mom for you.
I appreciate that, and we'll look forward to a happy business arrangement, hopefully between my resort and your people. Be well. You honor him by being here, I'm sure.
Thank you, sir. Will do.
Mm-hmm. He walks over to Celeste. "Ma'am, it's been a pleasure to meet you."
The pleasure's mine, and she will shake his hand.
Mm-hmm. Just normal?
And just like the soft little grip to it.
Okay. He takes it. He's like, "Very good."
I look forward to you helping us find the man who killed her father.
Oh, yeah, all I can do, unfortunately, is offer financial incentive to do so, but you can rest assured I'm going to have Georgie post that bounty all over the village as soon as they are able. That way, we know that scumbag who did this to us gets brought to justice.
Maybe you should hold off on that until you hear back from us, just so we can ensure that our investigation doesn't get tampered with. I would hate for him to be tipped off and scurry out of town before we can get him.
Oh. And he, thinking of this, he turns and looks to JJ and he goes, "Would that be all right? I do not want you to think that I would ever put your father's case on a back burner or that it isn't important."
I've been traveling with this lovely detective, Detective Celeste Marigold here, and I trust her judgment on this one, I think.
Very good. It is apologies for my, preconceived notions on your profession. It is very seldom that I find a detective in plate mail, personally. So, you do have my humblest apologies, ma'am.
I wear the plate mail to increase the odds of collecting fingerprints. That's really what it's for. So.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
Yep.
You are
Many.
an astute scholar.
Yep. All up here. Right, Val?
It's all up there.
All up there, indeed. He goes and he doesn't shake Charles. He passes Charles over because Charles is a dire rat, and he assumes it's some kind of pet. But he goes to Bartholomew. He goes, "Sir, well, you didn't speak too much. I do appreciate you." And Bartholomew grips his hand with two hands and goes, "Yes, sir. We're happy to be on the case, sir. Thank you, sir. Love it, sir. Thank you, sir. It's all right. Calm down." He like goes and like takes a few steps over, and like Bartholomew's like very like, "I'm shaking hands with noble people again." Yeah, like it's the full like Chen from Mulan, where it's like him and the Emperor like doing this again. And then he gets to Morgan and goes, "It has been a pleasure to meet you, ma'am."
It was lovely to meet you as well.
Oh.
Oh.
He
I'm
has
just
his
gonna put
hand
my
out. He
hands
doesn't-
behind my back
Oh, you put your
and
hands
just
behind-
bow to him. Yeah.
She has a bit of thing with germs. You know.
Oh, yes. No, I've heard on the radio that she is a bit of a cleaner. That's what I understand. So
Yes.
Correct.
very good.
Thank you for understanding.
No, of course. I would not want to have a mess made in my office, so I do appreciate it wholeheartedly.
Did I see him skip over Charles?
Yeah, he shook your hand and then moved his hand over top of like Charles is only about a foot shorter than he is. Like Charles is not that much shorter than a gnome. But he did skip Charles because Charles is kind of just like sitting there like next to Bartholomew, like at Bartholomew's side, kind of like what a pet would do.
I'm gonna stand behind Charles. Oh, sir, you forgot Charles here.
Charles, oh, I do apologize.
It's okay. He's a knight in training.
Charles like,
Hero.
Excuse
oh,
me, hero in training.
He talks very good then. Well, Mr. Sir Charles, my apologies. Truthfully, I didn't mean no offense. And Charles like,
All right.
like puts his little rat fingers in the hand and they shake. And it's very much like anytime a mayor like opens a firehouse, they do the paw shake with the Dalmatian. It's that same kind of like, I'm shaking hands with an animal. This is normal. Take our picture. Take our picture. Take our picture. Great. It's one of those like normal poses you see. And then he kind of makes his way. He starts hobbling over and he points to Cobalt Jones. He goes, "Now don't you move a muscle. I'm gonna make it over there." And he boom, boom, and hobbles and canes all the way over to Cobalt Jones.
As he's
Whew.
starting to come over, Cobalt Jones knows that he can't shake someone's hand while sitting down, so he tries to get up, but he has short, stubby legs, and he's like, oh,
He looks at you and he goes, "I told you that chair will sink you in as much as possible."
he's trying to like kind of rock back and forth. Is this a swivel chair by chance?
No, it's like one of those weird like bucket seats that's like really deep because it's completely made out of this like fancy leather. It just like you sink like a good like 3-4 inches into it. Like it's a chair. But he looks to you and goes, maybe we could have Miss Detective, would you be so kind as to assist your friend? My back will not allow me to help in this instance.
Oh, sure, absolutely. She's gonna tip the chair completely over.
But she's coming over like, just move the table. I got it.
He moves. He's like, and he's like trying to move the table. Celeste, I'm assuming, just still flips you with a big and a roll. You want to try to
There
land
you
anything?
go.
No, I'm gonna totally do like a Dark Souls fat roll.
Big heavy roll. Get back up. He's like, that cannot be good for your knees, good boy.
Yeah, probably not. And then
Probably
I'll
not.
put my hand out and shake his hand.
he
But
shakes
I do
your-
like the full like Roman.
Yeah. Oh yeah, like gripping like the wrists. He grips. He goes, "Oh, you're from the north, then. I'm rather curious to see one of yours among this group. May you do the Weaver's mercy on those who would break the law. I greatly appreciate your visit, young man.
Thank you.
I thank you as well." He takes it off and hoists himself back to his cane and turns and hobbles back to look at the group, and he goes, "Well then, if there is nothing else, Seekers of Gulanti, I do thank you for your visit. But as I understand it, the kitchen today is serving up a most delightful bit of steak in the cafeteria. I have had a mind of it all day long. If you could, I would greatly appreciate making your way out into the rest of the resort and casino, talk to George, and I will have informed him that you are to be given a key to that room we discussed. And of course, when you have findings to report, I do hope that you will come to me and so that we can discuss at length.
So we shall. Thank you.
Very good. And he starts hobbling back to his desk and kind of like gets there, and the door, as he gets to the desk and he like moves behind it, you hear a clicking sound, and the door to his office swings back open. And you can see the kind of like area that you guys left, that large lounge table has been all cleaned up, all the glasses and food trays have all been cleaned, it's been wiped down. But the open air of the afternoon kind of greets you all as the sun is beginning to crest over and start to dip low for the evening. Do well out there, seekers of Gulante. You're the only hope we do have for a civilized world.
We shall do our best.
All we can ask in these trying times. He climbs back up into his chair with his booster in it, sits at his desk and sets his cane off to the side and starts like filling out reports and like pulling down paperwork. You guys exit the office. Anything you guys want to do last second as you're exiting the office, or are you guys good to all leave?
Celeste is going to lean into the group and be like, but first, to the gift shop, right? Who's with me?
Yeah, we can go to the gift shop.
I was gonna put my stuff in the room first, so I stopped spending like money at the slot.
Yeah, I can't go to the gift shop.
We'll go to the room, and then a few of us will go to the gift shop.
Wait, hold on. There's a room? I thought the suite was ice cream. Or some other dessert.
Pain.
Do you want dessert? We can get
Do they-
dessert.
Buddy, don't you
Yep.
want to get ice cream with me?
They have ice cream here?
Bartholomew looks to you and goes, I don't think I had to state it, but no, ice cream makes me uncontrollably retch, so I'm going to not do that.
Like
know
you're
what?
lactose intolerant?
Oh,
I'll
Shoot,
tell her.
you know,
Let's
sure,
just go.
sure.
Let's go.
yeah.
But yeah, you guys exit the room. You enter back out on the balcony. There's still a long staircase that's been summoned to bring you back to the Botanical Gardens, or at least that, like, kind of make your way without having to go into the resort and casino proper. But as the door closes behind you, it seems to shimmer, and the style of it changes back to that of like a normal door that you guys egressed through to get to this area.
It's so cool. No one else is impressed by that. I'm the only one impressed by doors.
It's
Cool
not.
door. Awesome. It opens.
Never seen a door that opens before.
Yeah, no.
Magically
that's-
leads to different locations. It's not impressive at all. No, it's fine. Let's go get a key from Georgie.
Wow, that's cool. Bartholomew tries to like pretend it's super cool, but there's not into doors.
I
Um,
don't trust it.
Yeah. So Cobalt Jones, you return to the gardens until the party comes back out of this casino area.
Can I even do that?
Yeah,
Since
you
the stairs are gone?
No, the stairs are still there.
Oh.
Yeah, they haven't tried to inconvenience the member of the party that legitimately like has declared it's a religious aspect that they can't get rid of their weaponry.
Okay.
Alright.
Then yeah, he'll go smell some flowers.
Yeah, you head back down. A couple people still like cooking things on sticks for the most part, but it's like at this point now it's like full kebabs that are being made as it gets more into like past lunch, like early dinner snacks and stuff. And it's like slices of like whole pieces of onion and carrot and stuff, and then like pieces of like slow roasted goat is being cooked around the open aired botanical gardens. So plenty of food if you need it. I don't know. For the rest of you guys, enter back into the casino.
Mhm.
All right. In doing so,
Actually,
Hmm?
this is mostly irreverent, but I'm
Sure.
gonna slide Celeste the drink tickets that I got. Hey, these are you could do whatever you want with these. I don't want this.
For me?
Shh. Yes.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
And then that's it.
all right. The tickets are handed to Celeste. You all re-enter into the third level of the resort and casino. Again, very dull lighting as you're walking through this like open hallway. You're led into eventually a very large open room. A number of people are entreating guests. Dancers are at different tables. There's a main stage with a band playing. But overall, it's just this calm, cool, kind of like jazzy nightclub kind of feel to it. With like a little bit of like strip club mixed in for good measure. Like company that is like clearly there to be paid to be company. Sticking out like an absolute shall we say peacock, is the orc known as Georgie. Fan and all, feathered fan and all. As you all kind of look around and find them across the room, they kind of turn, seem to speak to someone on staff, and then turn back to you all and give you the old, oh, hello! Slowly starts kind of like moving closer to you guys as you guys are walking towards them, hips moving back and forth, kind of like stopping every so often to say like, oh, good to see you, yes, good to see you, yes, and like moving through, and then finally gets to you and goes, well, hello there, seekers of Goulanti. I hear you had a tete-a-tete with the master of the building.
Oh, that we did, Georgie. Very productive meeting.
We
he's,
do like to hear productivity.
Yes, a very generous offer, and
Oh.
we'll be looking into the problems that he's asked, and lovely little icing on the cake of an offering of a suite for us to stay in while we're dealing with this.
Oh, yes. And he, from his pocket, produces out, it's a key that I would give you in person, but I can't do that. I collect old keys for exactly D&D reasons. But he hands you this key with these small little, like, they have divots in them. They're really cool and tactile to feel, if you could, but you can't. But they're like small, almost like pearl hilt, like ingrained into the actual back of the key. And Georgie goes, now, typically, I would be ever so good to tell you that those keys will only work on this floor. But any door, rather any hole, will work to open up a doorway to where you need to go. Of course, the suite is completely on limits for you if you head out to the balcony and fetch your religious friend. Well, then certainly they can come stay the night if they need to. Services can be provided to the room according to the boss. And of course, if there is company required, then we could see about a way of a little bit of privacy sent your way to whomever might be so forward about their needs.
So generous and so accommodating.
Oh, we do our absolute best to give you that Grim Village hospitality. Oh, quite. Well then, I do believe you have your sweets. If there might be anything else you might need, simply tell one of the waiters or waitresses to put it on the Seeker's account. I took the liberty of opening up a little bit of credit at the casino here for you a lot. If you need anything, just give us a holler, and we will do our utmost for you.
Thank you so much, Georgie.
Oh, of course, Miss Bell. You do spoil me so with these honey words that do come out of your lips. Right then. Well, I do hope you all have a wonderful evening, if there's nothing else.
Think we're right as rain.
Right as rain. Well, I do so hate rainy days, but it gives a good excuse to cuddle, so I guess there's nothing all bad. bid you all a fond farewell. May you have a lovely evening, and may you tip your waitstaff accordingly, people. And a few people are like, they like reaching their coin purses and hand like silver to either like the men or women that are like keeping company with them, or like tipping their drinks and stuff, as if each one taking it personally that they weren't the one who was tipping, even though it's probably just something Georgie does to mess with people. But Georgie kind of fans over and kind of sachets away from the group and starts kind of checking in on other individuals who are currently hanging out in like the club area. But yeah, given your key, you guys have free roam of the place to an extent. What you guys want to do next?
Do we want to go get Jones in the room? Do we just head to the gift shop?
No, we should probably get Jones first. That way he's not out there sniffing all those flowers for too long. It'll go to his head.
Is he allergic?
So I'm not entirely sure. This one time we were walking and we ran into some purple flowers, and you know Jones is purple, right? So he sniffed one and all of a sudden his whole face was like this yellow color. Yeah, it was really weird. And then he wouldn't stop like sneezing, and it was nuts. So I don't really know. I've never asked.
Was he allergic to flowers or nuts?
What? I just said he was sniffing flowers.
Oh,
Why
but
would
then
he
you said
be?
it was nuts.
Oh, I can understand the confusion here. It was crazy.
He's allergic to crazy. Okay, good.
Yeah, no,
Um,
everybody's allergic to crazy.
Okay.
Buddy, don't you think if he was allergic to crazy, he'd just be sneezing all the time?
No, why?
No particular reason.
Oh, okay.
Alright.
Okay. I'm gonna note that one down in the field book that Kobold Jones is allergic to pollen. Okay.
Paul, what's pollen?
Well, I hope he's not in a pickle and you don't need us to save him.
Yeah, could.
Oh, I get it, because he has fleas, and we said or ticks, or he's got something, and we said tickles. That was a good one. I didn't know you were so funny. Okay, I'll go get him.
So you guys are heading out of the building to go get Kobold Jones, I assume.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys head out. You head back out on the balcony. Staircase is still presented because they at this point they haven't had a need to retract it. You head down. You find Kobold Jones. Anything you guys want to do before heading into your suite for the evening?
Gift shop.
Yeah, gift
Or do we
shop.
want to do that in downtime?
We can
You can do it in
we can
downtime
say
or
that
whatever.
I mean, if y'all want, we can say we went to the gift shop and then do it in downtime, so we don't take up however long.
That's fine. I mean, if you guys want to do your room first, so you can put your stuff down and then go. That's probably fine.
Yeah.
And since
Yeah.
Jonesy still is carrying the armory on his back.
He's got my dagger. I need it.
your dagger, a big tooth, a couple of axes, a stick that has questionable origins, a bow, 15 other daggers that Morgan never shows people. Always has-
Incense sticks.
yeah, a couple of one that's just covered in blood. We're not sure why it's covered in blood.
I'm keeping stock. You never know.
Yeah. It's just it's like a bladed fan, but it has like notches in it for every person you've killed.
I've just got an incense box that says, "You never know when you're going to need to freshen up the place."
Oh, there you go. Oh, it's all cleaner puns. I love it. It's so good. I really like that. It's a good pun.
So much you can do with it, Morgan. So much you can do with it.
Yep. Play into the
I'm
stereotype.
accepting my fate.
There you go. We've hit the point where the first time D&D'er has realized they can just play into it. All right then. So yeah, you guys collect Kobold Jones. Use the key, I assume. The key. Slides in lock. You see a little bit of a light shine out, and as the door opens up from the outside, you're opened up to what amounts to like a townhome. They said suite, but like it opens up into a very open, wide kind of lobby area. There is a small kind of like statue that seems to kick water into a very tiny pond. As you walk through like the opening room, there are 2 pairs of sliding double doors, each leading to separate bedrooms that seem to contain 2 beds in each one. So a total of 4 beds in this room. And then there is a northward facing door that when opened up seems to lead to kind of like a nice kind of communal poolside area. There's like a not a very large pool, but it's like an infinity pool that kind of drains off to the side into nowhere. Big glass kind of wall that you can look out to with what is very much a false arcaned illusioned and kind of like programmed image of just like beautiful like sunsets and like at this point now like evening sky that doesn't seem wholly real. It kind of seems like painted and it like swirls as if it's alive, but it's very much an illusion. Past that, in each room you do note that there is internal plumbing for the most part, actual bathroom toilets with sit-in jacuzzi baths. Joys of magic.
My gosh.
This is
Weavers.
Oh my
This is
me.
so nice. Oh my.
How many rooms are there, you said?
There are only there's the big communal area when you first walk in, and there are actually like 2 bedrooms to the west and the east, each with 2 beds in them. Each one has an adjoining bathroom, and there is kind of like in the common area, there's like kind of just a bar area where then you can like prepare small meals and things of that sort. But there's not like any cooking type utensils or like there's no like electronics or any of that nonsense. It's mostly just an area where like if you need to pack a lunch, you have a counter space, and then there's a couple of small tables and chairs that just seem comfortable for the most part. But this is one of those places where like where you're sleeping or cleaning are immaculate, but the rest of like the common area is kind of just there to say we have it, because the assumption is that you will spend most of your time in the resort or the casino. But yeah, you guys are welcome to that. Bartholomew walks into the room, looks around and goes, do we have to leave here ever? Can we just stay here? Maybe.
We are. Eventually, yes.
Yeah, I would love to live in a place like this one day.
Yeah.
Maybe you
Beautiful.
could get a job here, and then you could ask if they'll give you free housing here.
Ooh, you think that would work?
I don't know, but if it does, let me know so that I can also apply.
Oh, great, yeah.
Someday I will be powerful enough to make a demi-plane like this. It's going
Oh.
to be magnificent.
Okay, well then we just wait
Oh.
around for Miss
For that.
Fairfield to do it. Yeah,
Yeah.
that seems good.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, I want a skylight. And are you taking construction plans now? I don't know how it works.
Yeah, I want a hot tub in mine.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
There's going to be hot tubs everywhere. We'll write notes down. We'll figure it out when we get closer to it. It's still I've got a lot to figure out on that one.
How much longer until we're there?
Like a day or a week,
Like
maybe?
a week?
No,
Yeah.
it's
Are we
very
there yet?
it's powerful magic. It's someday.
Like a
Okay.
month?
I
6 months?
Maybe we just.
I mean, we've become really powerful in the past couple of months. So honestly, that's not a terrible projection.
Right.
So maybe a month, maybe 6 months. I don't know.
We'll
I'm
just
like
treat it like a surprise.
1/7 god, so you could probably do it pretty soon. Maybe I don't know.
Does being 1/7 god give you places like this? Hold on.
Just
Sandwich. I don't think mine works.
I think there's probably like a sending stone to ask for room service to make it happen just that quickly.
You gotta wait.
Also, we used that this week.
Yeah, you're gonna have to wait a week before you can summon a sandwich.
Oh.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
run into the kitchen and make him a sandwich really quick.
You walk in and there is no food in the kitchen. The only thing that there is there's a glass cabinet that has a small latch on it, and there are tiny bottles of wine and booze in the cabinet, and at most like a small brick of cheese and a couple sleeves of crackers, and that's it.
Be careful with those.
You do notice in the kitchen there is a beautiful marbled stone that has like a nice polished shine, and written around it is "Call for service."
Told you.
You gonna push the button?
Yeah, but how much do you think it is to push the button? Because it
Depends
was
on what you ask for.
Well, Buddy wants a sandwich.
Is there
no, a sandwich?
We did just eat lunch not that long ago.
I was more wanting to conjure it with my godly power.
Oh, right.
I didn't know we could do that, so I was very excited, and I apologize.
It's not even godly, it's just higher level conjuration magic.
Okay, so I've never done that, so to me it's pretty godly.
Kind of advanced, yeah.
Yeah.
Wait,
yeah.
Anything you haven't done is godly?
I feel like, it's very impressive at the very least.
I'll do a one-handed handstand.
Oh wow, look at that. Look at him go.
Look at me, I'm a god.
It's tough to be a god. And Bartholomew is clapping, but anyone with insight can tell there's no heart in it. It's just like, oh, yep, you sure did that thing.
Switch hands.
Oh my goodness. This might be the most impressive thing I've ever seen, right, Charles? And Charles is like,
yeah.
Scooch over to Celeste. Gift shop.
I'm already going! And she's gonna start, hauling ass out of there.
Well, are you guys visiting your rooms before you run?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we'll check everything out.
Yeah. I'm definitely gonna start jumping on a bed somewhere.
Well, as soon as when you walk in there, each bed, as you slide the doors open, have these big, large gift baskets full of chocolates, a bottle of wine, a collection of fresh towels that are all kind of rolled up into them. And mysteriously, each basket also contains a shampoo and conditioner that is built to fight lice and ticks specifically. The conditioner itself is heavily tea tree oil based to help kind of burn and exfoliate the scalp to get rid of anything that might have. One of the baskets has a long, kind of almost bamboo-like handled scrub brush. There's a little heart tag that says for those hard-to-reach places.
Wow. This stuff looks real nice. Miss Vel, this kind of looks like that brand that your hair fella carries. One of them in the shop.
Oh, yeah, maybe. High end for sure. Kind of reminds me of the spa in Grammerton.
Yeah, you're right.
Kind of wish these baskets had little chocolate bunnies in them, but I guess this chocolate will do.
I feel like your bloodlust is unsatiated, Miss Celeste.
I was also going to say bloodlust.
Yes.
But it's chocolate lust.
Celeste, I'd just like to point this out. If you hit it, if it was chocolate bunny, and you hit it like you hit another chocolate bunny, it might just end up looking like that if you hit it with whatever as well. But I think you give it a good smack, and you could say it was chocolate bunny, and it's going to look the same.
We could melt it. Be the same.
Can I ask a question, Orville?
Uh-oh.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, and since nobody else is going to be listening, because that would be so rude.
Bartholomew immediately walks away.
So starts turning away?
Yeah, so it's clear to me that you're clearly the genius in this group, and I was just wondering how Vel became captain and you didn't become captain if you're clearly the genius.
I don't like handling responsibility. Vel does.
That makes way more sense. Okay, no, that makes sense. Vel seems like she's definitely into the planning and the long end game, right? And then there's you, who just comes up with the quick solutions like smashing the chocolate bar.
Yep. Do you want me to hold it for you?
Do you mind?
Not at all.
Awesome, thanks. She will.
Orville is going to hold it directly over his forehead. Just
it's like a breaking thing. like a board. Yeah, you go, you
Oh, yeah.
pick up the chocolate, you hold it over your head. Celeste, you look, and this chocolate bar is already missing a corner, and there's a number of bite marks over it.
What the hell,
Can I-
Charles?
Can I
Charles!
attempt to cover that up so she doesn't?
You look over and you see.
I sleight of hand against her perception for that.
To what? Break a piece off.
No, like put my hand over the corner that's missing.
Yeah, go for it. Go
And
sleight
just,
of
like,
hand.
sleight of hand versus her perception.
Perception, yeah. Go for
Let's
it.
go.
Roll perception, Celeste. Those of you that did ignore the conversation do see Charles climbing out of one of the baskets and going for the other basket.
I got a 14.
14. Celeste, what'd you get for perception?
3.
3. So yeah, Celeste doesn't notice. Orville saves Charles from certain doom. As Charles, seeing baskets full of treats, did the Charles thing, which is,
I could resist this, but instead I think I'd rather just eat it all. I'm checking for poison. It's a very heroing thing to do.
You're the perfect hero.
Thank you. One day.
So Orville will proceed to hold a chocolate bar right above his forehead.
Celeste, would you
Ready
like to
for
punch?
Celeste to smash.
Would you like to punch this chocolate bar? All right. Are you trained in unarmed fighting or no? I don't think so. So you're just going to deal damage because Orville's not moving, and he is presenting a stationary item to you. There's no way you miss here. Just whatever your strength modifier is, +1 is how much damage you deal. You're muted. What do we got?
It's 5. Sorry.
5?
I
Okay.
was trying to determine where my strength modifier, but it's +4, so 5.
Yep, there you go. So, Celeste, you cock a hand back and just slam through this bar of chocolate into Orville's very stern forehead. You guys all hear a cracking sound and breaking as little bits of chocolate spray in all directions as they're shattered, because 5 points of damage is 5 times more than a chocolate bar's AC and HP at this point.
I was expecting to take the residual 4.
Oh yeah,
God,
no,
it had
definitely.
HP.
100%. Just what's anything as a break HP to it? Like wood has technically a HP in 5th edition. It's
know.
really weird, based on inches. There you go. It's only that references HP for thickness. So yeah, you break the chocolate bar. Orville takes 4 points of bludgeoning damage. Bartholomew turns back around and goes, "Am I still supposed to be ignoring you beating Orville up?"
No, that's not beating me up. That was one punch. It was a good one.
Right.
And now it was a chocolate bunny. Now it's all over the floor. Les can enjoy her chocolate. We got this.
Bartholomew looks at the ground and sees
you're
all
welcome.
little pieces of chocolate everywhere and goes, "Right." And then turns around and walks to the other bedroom and just sees who's in that one and is like, "I think this is the place I'm going to stay tonight. Just need the floor not covered in chocolate. That'd be nice." Just goes for it. But yeah, anything else you guys want to do before we call it an evening?
I want to go and get that cheese that was mentioned and give it to Charles.
Oh, okay. So you because Charles is in the bedroom with oh yeah, because you're there with Celeste and Orville too. You were one of the people who turned around. You go and you rifle through one of the baskets and
And there was a fancy one with the
from
wine bottles.
The one with the actual wine bottles. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say like there's none in the baskets. Like, it's all chocolates and stuff.
No, you mentioned cheese.
But yes, no, you go into like the wine area, you unlatch it, and you hear like the small little like beep when you open the drawer. You then slide out the big brick of cheese that's in there, and it's nice. It's like an actual like block of Gouda. And yeah, you have a block of Gouda in your hand. You're gonna go find Charles and provide it to them.
Mm-hmm.
All right, you walk over. Charles is currently tail up in one of the baskets, looking over and like tossing out like chocolates and other things. Like doesn't really care. Towels and but as the moment you're in like the doorway, you hear ruffling, and then a head pops up out of the basket and slowly turns in your direction, and you hear. And there's this like crazed look in their eye and a swirling purple in their eldritch eye. They look at you and like slowly their vision narrows and goes,
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. I thought you might enjoy this.
Mm-hmm, I sure would.
I'll bring it over to him.
immediately like raccoon hands. like goes and like the moment paws touch the sides of it, they just yank it out of your hand and like hold it and like cup it like it's a newborn child and goes,
What do I owe you?
Oh, you're part of our team. We take care of each other.
Team. No. I will never forget this kindness.
Oh.
just immediately little pieces of cheese all over the bed.
It's so good and creamy.
Immediately Charles jumps off the side of the bed and crawls under one of the beds. And just more chewing noises are heard, and that's about it from Charles.
I'm not a bad leader.
Not a bad leader. It's not what we're ending on. I'm a pretty good leader.
And I head over to JJ.
Mhm.
Hey JJ, do you have a scratch piece of paper or anything? I could just jot something down real fast.
Yeah, of course, of course. Do you want me to tear it out of my book or something? I can do that. That's totally fine.
I can write it in the book if you'd like.
Sure, whatever you're comfortable with. And JJ will just kind of open up to a blank page and put the quill down and kind of just scooch back a little bit from Morgan. Because the last couple times she's touched Morgan, there's been a lashing.
Not been the best of times.
Can I just write down he knows?
Sure.
And then just show it to JJ?
Okay. How much do you think?
Muted.
Definitely more than we learned.
Okay. I appreciate it.
I figured
Well-
it's something the group should know too, but I didn't want
we
everybody
should-
shouting it around.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. It might be good to talk about it once we leave a little bit. So,
Mm-hmm.
might
So I
be
get it
good
out
to-
there before we take off.
Yeah, of course. You always know a little bit more. You and Celeste make a good team.
I think so too.
Oh.
I'm gonna head off to grab a bar of chocolate.
And then to the chocolate land. Alright then. Everyone else good? Call it there. So, with that, as always, guys, we do thank you for sticking with us throughout the evening. We're going to send everyone over to Swole Initiative Network. I think they're like a D&D podcast too kind of deal. I don't know. They got a cool setup. I think their setup looked pretty neat. So yeah, we'll give them a raid. If you're subscribed to the channel, please make sure to use our raid emote so they know where you came from. I don't know if it helps out the channel, but it's cool to show off the emotes that we spent investment on, which is cool. Yeah, as always though, we do thank you. We'll be back next Monday for more Second Wake. The players have some actual downtime, really, in a weird way to think about it, where some things might happen in downtime. We'll let you know when we come back next Monday. But as always, I've been Cream Zamir. They've been the Seekers of Galanti. This has been Second Wake, and you've been our level 20 characters. We'll see you next time. Peace out.